Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with another Worth the Purchase where I play a game, or games, for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today, I'm taking a quick look at 3 games in one, the Atelier Ryza Secret Trilogy DX on Nintendo Switch. It is on other consoles, but I'm specifically looking at the Switch release. It's hard to even know how to approach a video like this. 3 massive JRPGs, 3 games that have been released before on the very same console. And in fact, for the record, I have played Atelier Ryza 1 and 2 before on Nintendo Switch. I reviewed them when I worked for another YouTube channel. So how does one approach this triple pack? Well, consider this video mostly about the package of the 3 games, rather than assessing them individually. But anyways, this is Physical Paradise, and I only care about games with physical releases. This does have one, but it is extremely weird and complicated. So complicated that I made an 11-minute video last week explaining it. I will give you the short of it later in this video, but if you want the full details about how to grab these new DX versions physically, then be sure to watch that video too. But first, what is this release? Well, you can either purchase them individually or in a triple pack, and you get 3 Atelier Ryza games, a sub-series within the Atelier JRPG series. Many people consider these, or at least a couple of them, to be the best the series has to offer, and if there's one thing that's undebatable, is that Ryza and her games brought the series so much more forward, turning a very niche JRPG series into something almost mainstream. And they do still hold up to this day. If you enjoy a proper JRPG, one that's not afraid about being one, then these will definitely satisfy your needs. There is so much content in this triple helping of games. If you want to do all the side quests, stuff like that, altogether, you'll be touching 300 hours in total. Even just playing casually, you'll be knocking on 100 hours for the stories. These are very story-heavy JRPGs. Like, there is a joke about JRPGs having too much talking and not enough doing. I've always found that to be an extremely weak takedown of the genre, but the Atelier games, well, they do take that to an extreme. Kojima would be proud, but at least with the Atelier games, they do let you walk like 3 meters between cutscenes, so there is gameplay. Kinda. But actually that's part of the charm of this franchise, and in particular, the Ryza sub-series, because what I really enjoyed more about these, at least of the 2 that I played, is that they have a great set of characters. Like most Atelier games have the main alchemist who's charming and lovely, but often surrounded by anime sword guy number 32. Maybe hardcore Atelier fans won't like that comment, and they are fine, don't get me wrong, but my point is that in Ryza, the supporting cast have always stood out more. I like the whole cast, not just one character. And the endless cutscenes almost force feed you their personalities, and it is like a warm comfort blanket. Maybe in other game franchises, I wouldn't tolerate it so much, and I would be hitting that cutscene skip button at a world record pace, but not here. I like to soak myself in Ryza, her stories, and the supporting characters. But anyways, look, if you like JRPGs, you will like the Atelier series. And as I said, if the cutscenes do get a bit too much, you can skip them and still enjoy the fun gameplay. Now, what do these DX versions entail, and is it worth it? Well, one of the big selling points is that there are new story segments. This is chosen from the main menu of each individual game. You get 1 new story chapter as such for each game, so 3 in total, and each will be a couple of hours long. I'm not going to get into story spoilers, but think of them truly as bonus episodes to spend a bit more time with a couple of characters you like. They are nothing overly significant. They're nice to have, but if you're cursing the day Koei didn't allow you to purchase it via the original versions, well, don't be overly upset, okay? You're not missing out on anything like truly massive. They're fun, but inessential. Those characters included in these side stories are also usable in the party of the main game, which, for fans of Seri and her charm that rivals that of Ryza, well, you'll be happy about that. They don't impact the story or anything, they're just there looking pretty and kicking ass in battle. Other smaller things that have been included are like quality of life improvements with bigger bags for ingredients gathering, which I've never had an issue with, but it's nice that it's here. And of course, you get all the previous DLC for the games, which for certain gentlemen and gentle ladies out there will be cool for the swimsuit costumes alone. But there's actual gameplay stuff in there too, and you guys know Koei and their DLC, there is a lot of it, all now included in this package for an absolute monster amount of content. But on the face of it, it is a bit of a cash grab. Like, there's no getting around that detail. While it is fantastic value for money when it comes to newcomers, to the loyal fans who supported the series day one, it does slightly reek of trying to get some of the double-dipping dingleberries to do their business. And when Ryza and her curvy friends are on the line, it can be hard to resist. If this was released on a newer generation console, then it wouldn't be so bad, but to release it on the same console as the older version, with zero way to placate the owners of those, it does suck. I mean, your save files aren't even compatible, which is nuts. The new content is nice and welcome, but it could have been a $10 DLC upgrade for older owners, especially on the Switch. Now, before I get any further and discuss the physical release, if you are new here and you enjoy physical video games, then you should probably subscribe. That's my advice to you. You'll get so much good stuff, useful information, that it will be the best thing you do today. Plus, the bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media, so do your bit. Subscribe. However, if you do want to experience this new content, these new features, and you want to do it physically, well, there is no Western physical release for this new DX release. However, on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in Japan, they do have physical releases over there, and they do have English text on those physical releases. And I do want to stress, for the 100th time, despite me saying it over and over again, there are always comments about this, the text, the menus, and the subtitles are in English, but the voice acting is in Japanese. It always has been, and there is no dub. If you want it on Nintendo Switch physically in English, you will have to specifically buy the Southeast Asian physical box set from Singapore. It is the only Switch physical release that has English. You will have to import it, and if you do want to import it, I've linked all of them down below in the description and pinned comment. Now, it can be a minefield. There are physical versions of these games out there that do not have English. Do not make a mistake with your purchase. It would be a lot of money to throw away. I have linked you to the correct one. If you purchase from VGP, you can get free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, and if you purchase from Play Asia, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2025. If you want the exhaustive details about the physical release, breaking down the collector's editions and stuff, go watch that video I made last week. It will be very useful to you. Also, I want to point out that what you're watching here is the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and I have been switching between playing on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. Now, there is a Nintendo Switch 2 version which is digital only, but that is a completely separate app from the Nintendo Switch version. There is no compatibility between the two, and there is no upgrade path. If you get the Switch 1 version, you have the Switch 1 version. Yeah, you can play the Switch 1 version on the Switch 2 with a more stable frame rate, but you won't get the resolution boost if you had the digital Switch 2 version. I am losing my mind trying to explain this, and I apologize if it's confusing, but blame Koei. They have lost their minds with this release. As far as I'm aware, the proper Switch 2 build, which I have not played by the way, only enhances the resolution. I think the frame rate is the same as the Nintendo Switch version. Oh my god, do I think it's worth it? Well, if you already own the Trilogy, it is a hard sell. The lack of save file compatibility is the biggest kicker there. I mean, I guess if you own the 3 physically already, you could be quids in if you sell those and buy this version or these versions which are better, but that's a choice for you to make. If you don't own them already, then this, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. It is a fantastic package of 3 fantastic JRPGs for an overall affordable price. I mean, $30 a pop, that's really not bad. The amount of content is crazy in this package, and sure, the extra content isn't massively significant, but it is extremely welcome. Will you be purchasing this DX Trilogy? Has your mind managed to figure out how Koei are actually releasing this? I still don't even know myself sometimes. But all I know is if you want the Switch physical release, you buy the Singapore one, okay? That's all you need to know on this channel, right? Do you feel burned by Koei's sale tactics? Or are you playing them at their own game by you're gonna sell your own trilogy on eBay and then buy this DX Trilogy? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, and I hope you all have a fantastic, non-confusing day. Take care.